All right, any predictions for this time, Brian?
Honestly, I don't know. The only time I've seen PrideSkunk was in what 2 matches ago, and I've never seen Doctor Schuess or however you pronounce his name, as you've been saying, the good doctor. I haven't seen either of them play, so this is going to be a surprise for me.
Yep, the last time I saw Doctor play was like 2 or 3 tournaments ago, way before a lot of the balance changes. So I can't really say what I expect from either player. So this is just going to be an interesting match, no matter what.
And it'll also be nice to see some new players' take on this particular map.
Yep, and it looks like
So far, so far, players have just a bunch of the players have been just relying on just sending a bunch of units through one of the routes, but ultimately the superior strategies are to change it up and go different routes. Use air fabbers to build proxy bases. You build a teleporter. Essentially, just change it up. And I'm hoping one of the players does that in this match.
yeah, and it looks like Doctor has gotten south and Pride has gotten the north. So
Same old spawns.
yep,
Oh, PrideSkunk's going for 4 metal extractors and a power. That's a very eco-focused start. Don't see
yeah.
those very often these days.
And it's actually kind of surprising because with the metal so close and so clumped together, you don't really need to worry about your economy for the most part, at least not as much as other
Mm-hmm.
places. I mean, Max was
Yeah.
our last round where Max was slowly expanding with one engineer. He was able to keep his economy in the positive, even though he had like six or seven vehicle factories running at the same time.
Yeah.
But it looks like Doctor has started moving skitters northward. Oh, it looks like actually one of
PrideSkunk's
them
got a
is
first
going
skitter
west.
out. Yeah, checking those pockets.
And Pride is now sending his unit around. Okay, here we go. Looks like Doctor has gone ahead and started his units grabbing the mexes now in his base. And he's got one spinner out as well.
Yeah. Everybody is definitely going vehicles first. No one's going bots first anymore. Heck, no one has even used bots in the current patch. Or in the current tournament.
Yeah, in the tournament, yes. In the current patch, I would say the AI. The AI loves his bots.
And I love it when the AI uses bots. Easy kills.
Yep. So here comes a spinner from PrideSkunk, but he will probably get seen pretty quickly here.
Yeah, PrideSkunk has scouted out Dr. Schuss's base, and down goes the skitter.
Yep, and
And Dr. Schuss has scouted out PrideSkunk.
yep, and Pride is running on slightly negative economy, mainly just power, and it looks like Doctor's running negative power as well. So really, if I was the players, I'd worry more about their power at this moment than their metal.
Yeah, during the opening few minutes, power and metal tends to just bounce around in the positive and negatives all over the place.
Yep, looks like Doctor is sending a ta basic tank and the spinner upwards. And I don't know if he's going to put them just to hold that. It looks like they're just going to stick there and hold that lane for the moment.
It also does seem that Dr. Schuss has got metal extractors queued up on both the east and west bubbles.
Yeah, he's really going for an aggressive expansion, which is actually nice to see um,
Yeah.
because so many players just tend to be playing defensive, especially in the north. The northern players with Mirrored and now PrideSkunk just tendency to play defensive, not really expanding a lot, is just kind of something that's sad to see because those
Yeah.
places are really nice areas to hold.
Well, but the northern pole doesn't need to expand. He can claim all of his metal spots, and the southern pole can claim all of the metal spots plus all the metal spots in the bubble, and the northern base will still outproduce the southern base. Oh
So,
wow, some forward factories being built from Dr. Schuess.
yeah, he's trying to be pretty cheeky, but he may have a Aventail come in and ruin his day. It's heading
But
straight
he
for.
does have a tank coming forward. If he can finish those factories, and he's got more factories building on the southern portion of that peninsula.
Yeah, he's
Very
being
nice
cheeky,
moves.
very cheeky. Very much
If he can
sticking
pull it
it to it.
off,
Oh, if he
yeah.
can, then he will be very well off. I'm not sure he's going to make it through the entire factory line. Fighter comes in, takes down that Faber, and that's the end of that expansion there. But as far as I know, the expansion on that little peninsula towards Doctor's base is still fine. He hasn't sent that Aventail any farther south, so for the
No,
moment, that's good.
I'm looking at PrideSkunk's vision, and he does see a single radar blip at the bottom of that peninsula.
Yeah, he probably thinks it's a skitter, to be honest,
Yeah. Well, now
because
the Aventail's moving forward.
uh, and actually that factory's just about to be completed. Oh, in comes the fighter, takes down the
Oh
fabricator
man,
first.
so close.
Yeah, he should have had at least one or two fighters there, and they should have been patrolling because when you tell that fighter just to go ahead and follow, if the enemy comes anywhere, in any direction other than straight for that fighter, it's going to be a loss.
Yep. And if we look at the total unit count, PrideSkunk's got a 44 unit count, while Dr. Schuess has an 8-9 unit count.
Yeah, Doctor is not really building many factories at all.
And some very good wins from those fighters from PrideSkunk.
Yeah. And Doctor is floating his economy. He just doesn't have much, and he's building more power.
Yep, you just gotta have the factories.
Yep. And actually, to be honest, what I do remember of Doctor was he was pretty much air back when he was playing before. So
Yeah,
this
well,
is
he's being camped in by fighters right now, and he is floating his eco.
yep, and he's going to get vehicles coming in here any minute. He had nice expansions to start with, but he didn't capitalize them at all. And now he can't control any of his expansions. If
Well, it doesn't matter whether his expansions or not when he's wasting 152 metal per second.
yep,
Out and that ant force of tanks is getting closer and closer.
and the comp's
It's
still
just,
building power.
yep.
All right, comp's
Commander's now
coming
moving
forwards.
forward, yep.
Oh, no, he stopped. Oh, he's building a tower. A double barrel laser tower, and it gets taken down.
And I'm getting the blinking bug. Woohoo!
Do you have HDR on?
I don't know.
Because that might be doing it.
Probably.
That's what was giving me it previously. And his comm can't
Uh,
hit that one vehicle.
he's got to take a step forward. There we go. Laser defense tower built.
Finally. And that's going to help protect
But
that.
if you look off to the east, there is a long string of more units coming in.
Oh, yeah.
And Dr. Schuess is building another double laser defense tower, so PrideSkunk's going to need to clump up those units if he's going to be effective.
To be honest, what I'd like to see is him put some walls down. Just to
Yeah,
protect those.
but PrideSkunk could also just swing off to the side and play around in the metal field.
Yeah, but it looks like he's trying to just go straight forwards, which is not a good
Not
thing.
a good, yeah. Commander and 2 laser defense towers.
Oh, they're coming.
Advanced air factory's finished.
Yep, and it looks like he's really pushing on building Hornets, which might serve him well, except that there's quite a few fighters for PrideSkunk.
Yep, and PrideSkunk's probably going to put more of a focus on building fighters now that he doesn't know that it's finished, but it's a logical conclusion.
All right, now the Hornets finally
And
getting
that
into the battle.
commander's at half health. Yeah, now he definitely knows about the advanced air.
You know, the sad thing is those Hornets may be pretty effective, but to use them on, well, on the basic units, it's just kind of sad to see because they can do a lot
Yep.
of damage, but against basic units, they're not really very worthwhile.
Yep, just way overkill.
Yep, and the commander is slowly being repaired. He's about down to 1/3 health.
Yeah, I would say that still a win for PrideSkunk because Dr. Seuss is wasting economy, but Dr. Seuss is wasting between 141 and 229 metal per second.
Yep, and he's building another line of towers, and
And
he's not
this
building
is where
anything else.
Yeah, this is where you got to start changing up your strategy because attacking that same direction over and over again is just not going to work for PrideSkunk. But if he starts coming from the other direction, he'll be able to cause a lot of damage.
Yeah,
Or
which
if he
he's,
starts building shellers or just changing it up at all.
well, it looks like
Quite a
he's
few
building up.
fighters and hornets out the backside of PrideSkunk's base, and those hornets are taken down, and they're just working on just bombarding random stuff.
Yep, he's got one Hornet left at the moment.
Well, and gunships are raiding metal extractors. PrideSkunk is still floating economy, and really, it just if he starts building fighters, then he can shut down Dr. Seuss no problem. But if PrideSkunk doesn't adapt and doesn't change his strategy, he's going to be picked apart by something that he could easily prevent.
Yep, and he only has 2 air factories at this moment.
And none being built, and idle fabbers and idle commander, and finally stop floating eco as another air factory goes up. Let's see if he can turn this around or if it's too little too late as his economy is starting to shrink.
And he looks like Dr. Schuess has lost his other Hornet up there. But he's already got another more or less raiding group coming forwards. So we'll see what happens with that.
Well, but Ants moving forward from PrideSkunk straight into that defensive line, so it's probably not really going to go anywhere at all.
Yeah. He does take out 4 engineers, but to be honest, that doesn't mean much.
No.
They take down 2 towers, almost 3 at this moment. 3 towers.
There.
And it looks like that push only took down 3 towers. Oh,
That
but
was
a
not
raid
worth
coming
it.
in by PrideSkunk into that eastern little outpost. No defenses there at all.
Very nice. And that's what he should be doing. Don't just charge into the defensive line. If PrideSkunk would have hugged the northern side of Dr. Seuss's little bubble, he could have gone into that metal field and then swung around down into the power and just caused wreck havoc. If there's a defensive line, this is Planetary Annihilation. We're playing on a sphere. Go around it.
Yep. And that's what one mistake a lot of people make is that they just focus on coming in from one direction. And even with this one where there's choke points, there's 3 directions to come from. And if PrideSkunk's got over 10 units just to the side of his base. If he just took those southwards, he could do a lot of damage. But it looks like a advanced vehicle factory is coming up for Doctor.
Doctor's finally working on using that economy that he's wasting.
Yep, and PrideSkunk is finally getting some air control back.
Oh yeah, here comes a big group of fighters.
Yep, and they're coming southwards.
Take down a few Hornets, a bunch of fighters. That was definitely a good exchange for PrideSkunk.
Yep. And even though he technically lost it, he was able to take down quite a few units.
Yeah, he definitely caused more metal damage than he lost. Oh, and then the fighters are flying over spinners and fighters dueling. Whew, Dr. Schuess is in very real danger of losing the air war.
Yep.
And another large blob of units coming forward from PrideSkunk, and he very well could finally break that defensive line. And if he destroys Dr. Seuss's air factory, that's probably GG.
Yep, he already took down one of the other towers, so there's only 2 towers defending, and that push should be more than enough. Some
Yeah,
bombers
and
coming
wow.
in, and they're going for that commander, which they don't get very far, but they are able to do some damage to him.
And kill that Fabra that was repairing it.
Yep.
And PrideSkunk has a lot of spinners mixed in with his army now.
Yeah, he's really going on the offensive with that. He does not want to get trapped by that air power. Another tower taken
Yep.
down,
And it
and
looks
finally the
like this is
defensive line is
probably, yep,
it.
this is going to be it. This is going to be a commander kill and the advanced air factory kill. Either way is going to be result in the end of the match for Dr. Seuss. Commander's taking a lot of fire. I don't know if it can survive this. Oh, but that Vanguard, wow, those OP Vanguards are putting in a ton of work.
Yep, commander barely makes it out alive.
Yeah, those Vanguards got there just in the nick of time.
Yep, that seems to be the only thing he's building at this moment.
Well, yeah, they're very very powerful. They have a radius of on that area of effect of like 100 or 200. They can just kill in one Vanguard can kill like 100 ants and infernos. It's just ridiculous.
Yep, I'm actually surprised that PrideSkunk isn't taking back any of the metal he's lost. He's leaving it just there.
Doesn't really matter, well, because he only just stopped floating economy. Actually, he's still floating economy.
Yeah, what would be best is to start expanding again and then try and make the jump to advanced, because he's going to need it to combat those vanguards.
Large air force heading out from PrideSkunk, heading around the side of the planet,
Yep,
heading towards the back. Both players just keep on charging at each other straight on and just trying to punch each other harder than their opponent. And that's not how they should be playing. They should be
yep.
changing up their strategy, attacking from different sides, and just do something different. It's the best way to win.
Bombers come
And
in to
Pride,
attack the commander and get some hits. And it would have been actually better to see him hit all of those engineers, because
yeah.
that's a good amount of engineers
And
for
PrideSkunk
Doctor.
still has that clump of units on the west side of his base that could go into the main base and cause a bunch of damage, or they could swing over to that other little bubble and destroy some metal extractors. Neither players are just expanding or reclaiming metal.
Yep,
Never stop expanding. Never stop scouting. That's the
yep.
first 2 rules of Planetary Annihilation.
And neither one is raiding either. For a little bit of time they were raiding, but now they're just really focused on just attacking the other person.
Another group of hummingbirds heading out with
Yep.
some bombers in support. Focusing down on that commander.
Commander's
Whoa!
almost killed.
Sliver. One more. If Dr. Seuss has his fighters leave the base, one more attack is going to be the end of PrideSkunk. But there are a bunch of transports being queued up from Dr. Seuss, and if he gets those transports and drops vanguards into PrideSkunk's base, that's it.
Yep, and PrideSkunk has actually quite a few anti-air units, but none of them really in front of his base that would stop vanguards from being dropped close.
And the transports have received a buff in health as well.
Yep, this is definitely going to be an interesting thing. All of those fighters have landed though, which makes them pretty easy targets, and quite a few of them get taken down.
Man, this is going to be a close finish. And although, looking back at PrideSkunk's base, he has a ton of spinners. Unfortunately, most of them are on the backside of his base. but still,
Yep.
he has a ton of spinners.
If he can actually bring those forwards to bear and take out those transports, it's going to be a huge loss to the Doctor.
Another group of bombers coming through the backside of the base, but there's fighters is probably not going to be enough.
Yep, they've
And
been
Pride
seen.
Skunk's
Bombers
economy
coming
is
in and then get taken out.
transports heading out. No, regrouping, clumping up. Yep, this is probably going to be GG. And PrideSkunk just hasn't rebuilt his economy, or just he hasn't done anything different.
Nope.
For Dr. Seuss, while he has been floating a ton of eco, at the very least he's switched it up and built advanced vehicles or something.
I'm actually not sure what the Doctor is doing. If he's not careful, he's going to run those units into all of that anti-air. Oh!
Yep. But
And they
all he
get
needs to do is just drop one Vanguard. There we go.
that
Down goes the
one Vanguard's
Vanguard.
down. Oh, all of the Vanguards get
Yep,
dropped.
that's it. That's all anti-air units. They're not going to be able to stop the Vanguards. That's
And he
GG.
also has one Sheller. But the Sheller gets destroyed.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the new strategic icons. And they're heading straight for the commander, who is not moving.
Commander's now moving
There
away.
we go. He's finally moving, but it's too little, too late. And that's it.
Run,
Very
Commander,
back
run.
and forth. It was a very, very back and forth match, but neither player changed it up enough, particularly PrideSkunk.
Yep.